The city of Brenton woke early. Cobblestones rang with horse hooves, vendors shouted prices through the fog, and the scent of baked bread drifted over the marketplace. Near the river, where barges creaked against wooden posts, stood a small salt shop, weather-stained, humble, but honest. Inside, Samuel Reed began his day the way he always did, sleeves rolled, jaw tight, counting coins before sunrise. At 45, he carried the kind of strength that came from years of hard work, and the kind of temper that came from years of disappointment. His son, Ethan, sat quietly at the back table, sketching notes into a ledger. He was 22, tall and slender, with hands too soft for trade, and eyes that never held another's for long. When he spoke, his voice trembled slightly, as though each word had to fight its way past fear. "Put that book away," Samuel muttered without looking up. "You'll never learn the world from pages." Ethan closed the ledger carefully. "Yes, father." Samuel sighed. "Confidence, boy. Confidence. You've got to look a man in the eye. Speak straight. If you keep hiding behind silence, this world will eat you alive." The words weren't cruel, but they hit hard, the way they always did. Ethan swallowed the ache rising in his throat, and busied himself sweeping the floor. Outside, the morning traffic thickened. Men hauled barrels, women bargained loudly, and the salt shop filled with customers. Ethan tried to greet them, to speak clearly as his father did. But his tongue knotted. Coins slipped from his hands. When one man laughed at his stutter, Ethan's ears burned with shame. By noon, Samuel's patience had cracked. "For heaven's sake, Ethan. It's salt, not scripture. You weigh, you sell, you smile. How hard can that be?" "I'm trying," Ethan whispered. "Try louder," Samuel snapped. "The world doesn't hear whispers." He stormed out to deliver a shipment, leaving his son alone in the shop. Hours passed. Sunlight turned orange through the dusty windows. Ethan sat behind the counter, tapping the table nervously, when two well-dressed men stepped inside. "Good afternoon," said one with a confident grin. "Your father sent us to collect the salt shipment for the city market." Ethan frowned. "He didn't mention." "He was in a hurry," the man interrupted smoothly. "Said we should take it before nightfall. He'll meet us by the bridge." Ethan's gut twisted. Something felt wrong, but fear whispered louder, "What if they're right? What if father blames me for delaying them?" So he nodded. "All right. Give me a moment." Together they carried out every sack, 50 in all, until the shop stood nearly bare. The men thanked him, tipped their hats, and disappeared down the foggy street. Ethan exhaled shakily. Maybe he'd done the right thing. Maybe his father would finally approve. But when Samuel returned and saw the empty shelves, the world seemed to stop. What the hell happened here? Ethan froze. "They came for the city order," they said. "You." Samuel's roar cut him off. "You gave away everything. To strangers. Are you out of your mind? I thought. You thought wrong. I break my back for this family, and you hand it all away like a fool." He slammed his fist on the counter. "Get out. Do you hear me? Get out of my sight before I say something I regret." Ethan's chest tightened. His voice cracked. "Father, please. Enough." The word echoed in the room. Ethan backed toward the door, shame burning through him. The moment he stepped outside, the weight of his failure crushed his chest. The faces in the street blurred, laughter from a nearby tavern sounded cruel and distant. By nightfall, he wandered aimlessly until the noise of the city faded behind him. The cobblestones turned to dirt, the smell of salt thickened, and he found himself standing on the riverbank, the same river his father once sailed on to deliver salt. Moonlight trembled across the water. Ethan stared at his reflection, broken and pale. His father's words replayed in his mind. Worthless. Foolish. Weak. Maybe they were right. Maybe everyone was right. The river whispered softly beneath the wind. He took one step forward. Then another. Stop. A voice, calm but commanding, came from behind him. Ethan turned. A man stood a few feet away, tall, broad-shouldered, wrapped in a dark travel coat. His eyes were steady, his face lined with the kind of weariness that only comes from living many lives. "Who are you?" Ethan asked quietly. "Someone who's been there," the man replied. "My name is Alden." He took a slow step forward. "And before you decide what your life is worth, maybe you should learn what it could be." Ethan shook his head, tears streaking down his face. "You don't understand. My father hates me. I'm useless. I've ruined everything." Alden's voice softened. "No one is useless. Only untested." He extended a hand. "Come with me. 3 days, that's all I ask. Do as I say, and you'll see what you're truly capable of." Ethan hesitated, staring at the offered hand. The night air smelled of rain and river salt. Somewhere deep inside, a spark flickered, fragile, uncertain but alive. He took Alden's hand. And for the first time in years, he didn't feel completely alone. Morning broke slow and silver over the city of Brenton. The air smelled of wet stone and river mist. Ethan woke in a small guest room inside Mr. Alden's cottage, just beyond the edge of town. For the first time in days, he'd slept without hearing his father's voice echo in his dreams. When he stepped outside, Alden was already waiting, a mug of steaming tea in his hand, eyes fixed on the horizon.